she moves like no other. Her body swinging in a way that screams out my name.
من بيروت نحن اليوم بحلقة جديدة مع ألكسندرا حكيم Lebanese based in London اللي هي جولري ديزاينر. رح تخبرنا شوي اليوم عن مسيرتها والفيوتشر بروجكتس اللي رح تعملون. أليكس ويلكم. نحن كثير مبسوطين إنه تعرفنا عليكي وأنت معنا اليوم. خبرينا شوي ليش قررتي تكوني جولري ديزاينر، كيف بلشت المسيرة؟
As a child, I really liked going to museums. I was very artistic at school. I ditched everything else to go into painting. I was interested in fashion, and then I got accepted to Central St Martin's, a school in London, to do a foundation year where I could play around in every field of design to decide what I would want to do later. I was never interested in luxury or diamonds or gemology, but I did like this relationship between what you wear and the body, and I wanted to try and express that through miniature sculpture and through different techniques that I had learned at school.
based in London هلا دونك كل الكرياسيون تبع الجولري تبعك بتصير برا. خبرينا كيف بتصير البروسيدور تسعى عنا الجولري اللي شايفينهم قدامنا نحن اليوم.
So actually I have a lot of different studios. I have one in the States because that's where I started making at school. I have a place in London, and I also have recently I started producing here because I'm collaborating with a lot of Lebanese designers, so it helps to have a place here. And honestly, it's making jewelry in Lebanon is kind of like good quality fast food. You get everything super quick, super rushed, but the quality is good, and as long as your team is prepared and you are prepared and you know what you want and you have a vision, it can happen anywhere. So I don't mind producing here. I'm adapting to it, and it's been fun, so I might continue.
أو حتى من حدا كان ديجا جولري ديزاينر قبل ما تصير بروفيشنال؟
That's a good question because before I used to actually look at des maisons like Van Cleef, Bouchon, because I used to it was my dream to work for them. But also Victoire de Castellane, she was the head jeweler at Dior, and although I'm not into the high-end stuff, I respected her as an artist because she looked at everything. She looked at nature. She created stories and mythological fantasies, if you want, through these pieces that she would make. But right now, I don't look at jewelers. I don't look at designers who make jewelry in that sense, because I think that you should be looking at other things. I prefer to look at sculptors or painters or art history rather than people who are making jewelry now for the commercial world, because that's not what I'm interested in. It's how can you look forward if you're just looking at things that are in shops. It's not what I find interesting. I think we should be thinking outside the box and how to extend this world that's only just beginning of contemporary jewelry.
تقريبا تاخذ معك صانعي بيس اوف جولري. مثلا اذا بدنا نحكي عن الحلق، قد تقريبا بياخذوا معك وقت تتعاملي؟
About a week, but I work on a few different pieces at the same time. I have some pieces for clients where I have to be setting stones all day. Some people like more fun pieces like this. So I don't like to work on one thing for one day and then move on. I like to mix just to get a break, because I have a lot of different types of jewelry that I like to make. I love matches. I've always loved matches. I don't know why, I find them so intriguing. You can see the texture on the wood, the wood, if you look closely, and same with the ropes. That's why I don't like symmetry. As you can see, I never make anything the same. My thesis was based on dead politicians in France throughout the revolution. And I basically designed and made jewelry for them as if they were still alive, and based on their characteristics, based on their politics, And that's what I find the most interesting, to like, instead of creating a character or using somebody like a friend or your mom or your dad, I look at people with a history and people who I find interesting, because I love art history.
شو قصة هيدا البيس؟
Okay, so this one is a prototype for the main piece that I did from this. But I was very interested in the relationship between Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, and I wanted to create portraits of them in a way that would make it interesting in the 21st century. So wine is a very big trend, habit, tradition right now, always. And I decided to take Louis XVI's bow from his hair and to use that to show his death. So he was beheaded, and so was his wife. I took his bow, I chopped it in half, I put them on wine corks, and I wanted to use the wine as a symbol, obviously, of death, through the blood, through the color, and to redefine their heads and their portraits on these wine bottles. I want to do some fun projects on the side. I want to base one on Lebanon and the Lebanese culture from an outsider's perspective, you could say, even though I am Lebanese originally. It's coming. You'll see.
Thank you Alex لأنك جيت اليوم وقدرنا نعمل معك الانترفيو نتعرف على الكولكشن كتير حلوة تبعك اللي هي. إذا أنتم كمان حبيتوا حلقتنا بتلاقونا على فيسبوك انستغرام من بيروت، وأكيد ما تنسوا سبسكرايب على يوتيوب. نحن بنلاقيكم الجمعة الجاية. تشاو.